June 7th is a date where the threads of fate converge, weaving a tapestry of triumph and tragedy. Join us as we explore significant events that occurred on this day in history. Our first stop is Grenoble, France, in the sweltering summer of 1788. France simmered with discontent, the air crackling with tension. On this day, citizens burdened by taxes and angered by royal decrees gathered in the streets. The spark? An attempt by the king's soldiers to shut down the local parliament. Stones and roof tiles became weapons, forcing the royal troops to retreat. The day of the tiles was a sign that the old order was crumbling. The seeds of rebellion had been sown, and on June 7th they began to sprout, leading to the French Revolution. Fast forward to the Pacific Ocean, 1942. World War II raged. June 7th marked the final day of the Battle of Midway. 4 Japanese aircraft carriers lay crippled and ablaze, victims of a devastating American ambush. The Japanese Navy, once invincible, had been dealt a blow from which it would never recover. The tide of the war in the Pacific had turned. From this point forward, the United States would be on the offensive. Journey back to the age of exploration. June 7th, 1494. Spain and Portugal met to divide the spoils of a world newly revealed. The Treaty of Tordesillas redrew the map, carving up the new world between 2 European powers. It ignored the claims of other European powers and disregarded the indigenous populations. The consequences of this agreement would shape the destinies of nations for centuries. The year is 1905. In the land of fjords and Vikings, a nation asserted its right to self-determination. June 7th marks the day Norway declared its independence, dissolving its union with Sweden. For nearly a century, Norway had been bound to Sweden, but the desire for self-rule had reached a fever pitch. Our journey now takes us to Rome, 1929. On June 7th, a historic agreement was reached, the Lateran Treaty. It officially recognized Vatican City as an independent state, a nation within a nation, a nation within a city. The treaty ended decades of conflict between the Italian government and the papacy. It was a victory for both sides, acknowledging the Church's spiritual authority while securing Italy's territorial integrity. The shadow of World War II loomed large over Europe in 1948. On June 7th in Czechoslovakia, President Edvard Beneš made a fateful decision. He chose to resign rather than sign a constitution aligning his nation with communist Soviet Union. His resignation marked a turning point, signaling the country's descent into the Soviet sphere of influence. It was a powerful act of defiance against the encroaching Iron Curtain. Return to colonial America, 1776. On June 7th, Richard Henry Lee stood before the Continental Congress. He declared, resolved that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. Lee's resolution set in motion the chain of events leading to the birth of a nation. The debate that followed was fierce. The fate of 13 colonies hung in the balance. Lee's resolution serves as a reminder that great changes often have humble beginnings. Our final stop takes us to London, 1753. On June 7th, the British Museum opened its doors. Founded on the bequest of Sir Hans Sloane, it became a beacon of enlightenment. From ancient Egyptian mummies to Roman mosaics, the British Museum housed a staggering collection. Its establishment marked a turning point in the way knowledge was collected, preserved and shared. It paved the way for the modern museum. From pre-revolutionary France to the British Museum, June 7th has witnessed history-defining events. It's a day that reminds us the past continues to shape our present. Stay curious and keep exploring the past with us. Like this video and subscribe for more fascinating journeys through history.